Welcome back to The Explainer. I am so glad you're here with me today because we're tackling something that I think pretty much all of us are feeling right now, even if we haven't quite known how to put it into words. It's this creeping, heavy sense of digital fatigue. It's like the vibrant colors of your day-to-day life have just been washed out. You know the feeling, right? You're sitting on the couch at the end of a long day, surrounded by screens and a million entertainment options, but instead of relaxing, you just feel this weird emptiness and apathy. If that sounds like you, trust me, you are absolutely not alone. Today, we're going to break down the architecture of overstimulation to figure out exactly what's happening inside our heads.
Okay, let's dive into this. Have you noticed this happening to you lately? You finally sit down, you've got some free time, but nothing actually feels exciting anymore. It's a really strange, kind of isolating feeling, honestly. You literally have the entire world at your fingertips. A million ways to entertain yourself, but instead of joy, just this creeping sense of apathy. You might literally be sitting there asking yourself, why does nothing feel fun anymore? Well, let's take a look at what exactly is losing its appeal right now.
Think about the things that have just completely lost their spark recently. Video games you used to play for hours on end, movies you would have been absolutely thrilled to watch. Social media, which, let's be honest, just feels like a chore now. Even your old hobbies and passions, the things you genuinely used to love, they just don't hit the same way anymore. And the really scary realization here is our own behavior pattern. We recognize that we aren't having fun, and our knee-jerk reaction is to just keep frantically searching for new distractions. We keep swiping, we keep clicking, thinking, maybe the next piece of content will be the one that finally makes us feel something. But the terrifying truth is, we're actually enjoying everything less and less. It just slowly sneaks up on us until one day we realize we're chronically bored while being constantly entertained.
Section 1. Why everything feels flat. The search for stimulation.
Moving on to Section 2. Your overstimulated brain. The diagnosis. I want to deliver a massive truth drop for you right now. Your brain isn't broken. Seriously, it's not. It is simply overstimulated. Basically, modern life is flooding our brains with constant dopamine. Just think about your typical daily routine for a second. We're talking short videos, rapid-fire notifications, hyper-fast entertainment, and that endless infinite scroll on our feeds. Now, because our brains are incredibly adaptable, which is usually a good thing, they actually down-regulate our dopamine receptors just to handle this insanely high level of stimulation. They literally build up a tolerance. And because the digital world is moving at this breakneck lightning speed, normal, everyday life suddenly starts feeling impossibly slow by comparison.
So the crucial point is how this biological adaptation creates very real, very painful emotional hits. Because your brain is desperately waiting for that next high-speed dopamine spike, just focusing on a single task feels significantly harder. And boredom? Boredom doesn't just feel like a lack of things to do anymore. Boredom actually feels painful. Silence in a room feels deeply uncomfortable, making you want to immediately turn on a podcast or throw on some background music just to fill the void. And honestly, the saddest part, simple, everyday things completely stop feeling rewarding. Our whole baseline has completely shifted.
Which brings us to Section 3, the candy versus fruit analogy, changing your perspective.
Now that we understand the diagnosis, we can finally shift the narrative. You don't actually need more stimulation to cure your boredom. What you really need is recovery from it. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what's happening to us. Imagine you spend your entire day eating nothing but highly processed, incredibly sweet candy. That candy represents the high stimulation of the digital world, the short videos, the constant notifications. Now, imagine at the end of that day, you sit down and try to eat a piece of fresh fruit. That fruit, which represents normal life, naturally stops tasting sweet. It tastes totally bland. But the fruit didn't change, right? The candy just completely overwhelmed your taste buds. This exact same dynamic is literally what's happening to your brain with digital stimulation.
The absolute core of the issue is that your brain simply forgot how to notice normal pleasure. The problem isn't that your life suddenly became boring, or that movies aren't good anymore, or that your hobbies lost their value. Not at all. The problem is that our baseline for pleasure has been completely hijacked by the digital candy we're consuming all day long. We have effectively numbed our own ability to appreciate the subtle, sweet things in our everyday reality.
So, Section 4, Reclaiming Your Sensitivity, the Action Plan.
The really good news here is that we can move from being passive victims of our feeds to taking active control of our recovery. Let's move to and see how this builds into a surprisingly simple solution. Step 1, less noise.
Just turn off those unnecessary notifications. Step 2, less scrolling. You've got to stop that infinite feed loop that's constantly flooding your brain. And step 3, create more space for your brain to reset. Allow yourself to be a little bored. Allow the silence. Because as you implement these small steps, the artificial stimulation drops. And as that stimulation drops, normal life slowly, beautifully starts feeling real and sweet again.
I want to leave you with this incredibly powerful realization from the source material. Read this with me. You're not losing your ability to enjoy life. You're losing your sensitivity to it. Take a second to really let the profound difference there sink in. You still have every capacity for joy, passion, and excitement that you've always had. You just need to clear away the digital noise so you can actually feel it again. Lower the stimulation, reset your mind, and watch how quickly the color comes back to your life. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll leave you with this to think about. If you put your phone in another room for the next 24 hours, what passions would you finally have the sensitivity to rediscover?